So we're live now. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Ubuntu on Air. My name is Jose, and I'm an Ubuntu member broadcasting live from Peru. Welcome to the first of many LoCo updates. This is a LoCo Teams update where we'll just recognize and go through everything LoCo Teams have been doing during this month and previous months. I'm joined today by three awesome people. We have Philip Blue, Pablo Rubianes, and Nathan Haynes. Say hello.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hey everybody.
So we have many topics to be discussed today. If you want to chat with us, if you want to comment something, just go to #ubuntu-on-air on irc.freenode.net. If you're on ubuntuonair.com, just go down. There's a chat box down below. Just choose a nick and join the channel. If you have any questions or anything to say, anything you want us to read aloud on this video, just let us know by putting the word question in capitals before your question or whatever it is. I'm typing an example right now. So it should be like that, and we will pick it up and read it aloud as soon as we can. So why don't we get started with this and go through the first topic we have for today's list.
Well, the first topic is about the new verified team we have. This is the Colorado Ubuntu local team. They were doing a great job in the last few months, and they asked the local council for verification. So we got into a process that Jose will explain later, and we showed that they were doing a good job. This verification process will allow them to get the DVD pack after the new release in April. I think the DVD packs pre-orders are open, so if you are the contact for a verified team, you can ask for the CDs, or you should go through the verification process, so you are allowed to ask for them. Jose, you want to add something to this?
Yeah, you can only request the DVDs. Yeah, you can only request the DVDs if you're a verified team. So if you're the contact of a verified team, let's say, and you want to get a DVD pack, just go through the verification process, which is pretty much simple. It is not like the approval process we had before. The verification process only consists on checking, one, that the team contact has signed the COC, the Code of Conduct, the team contact, and the team leader, because sometimes it's different. Then we need to check that all the resources are set up and they follow the naming standards. And then we basically check that the team is alive. So if the team is like doing Ubuntu hours, having monthly meetings, or just meeting in general, then you will go through the verification process, and we will surely give you a +1. And after that, you will be able to go through the form and request a DVD pack for your team. Remember that only contacts for a team should request the DVDs. We will go through a check to verify that the people who are requesting the DVDs are contacts of verified teams. If they're not, we'll have to cancel those orders. So please make sure your team is verified before the release is done, so you can get your DVD pack at the front of your door whenever the production of DVDs is done and the shipment can be realized. So yeah, we want to encourage as many teams as possible to go through this process because it will not only get you the DVD packs, but it will also get you some other benefits like maybe if you're newly verified, you will get a banner and a tablecloth, and you will also get more nicer conference packs. So go through the verification process. It's easy, and we don't bite. So what's next?
So, so next on the list, we have this great release of Ubuntu coming up. I'm a big fan. It's running on my computer. It's running on my phone, and that means it's time for release parties. So release parties are a great excuse for a good local community team event. And long-term support releases like 14.04 have a lot of excitement around them. So combined with the new phone and tablet releases, these next release parties should be really, really popular. So any local team not yet considering this should definitely plan to have a release party. They can be good get-togethers for the LoCo teams, so that LoCo team members can get to know each other. And they can also be just like purely social. We've in California, for example, we just said pick a restaurant, and the Southern California team gets together, the Northern California team gets together. They can just kind of chat and eat, or they can actually host presentations. It really does depend on what you're looking to do. So if you are a new team or looking to get reactive, or if you just want to get people together, this is the time to do it. This is the excuse. So there are a couple teams that have things planned. For example, the Ubuntu Netherlands team is organizing a release party, and that's going to be on Saturday, May 10th, from 1 to 5 local time. And that's going to be at the Ubucon at Bolwerk in Apeldoorn. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool thing. They're actually looking for speakers still. So if you're interested in that and you're in the Netherlands, get in contact with Ubuntu Netherlands. Additionally, we have the in Southern California, we have the Ubuntu California working with the Orange County Linux User Group, and they're working on an install fest. The Linux User Group has many Ubuntu users, but users of different distros, and this is a time where we got together and we said that we're going to have an install fest and just feature Ubuntu. And so we're all working together for that. There'll be some presentations. Some people donated an Android tablet to give away, and it's going to be a good time. So that's May 24th from 10 to 2 local time. And so those are the two release parties we have on track now. We definitely want to hear about more of them, so go ahead and get those set up, get them on the LoCo directory, and let us know about them here in IRC during the show, or email us. And Jose has that contact information so that we can feature your local release party on the next show.
Yeah, if you want to get your release party featured on the next show, just send an email to onair@ubuntu.com, and we'll make sure to include it. If you have any news about release parties or events going on in the next few weeks, and you're on the IRC channel, just go ahead and let us know, and we'll just read them aloud. So next topic on the list, we have Philip Ballou talking about it.
Howdy everyone, I'm Philip Ballou, and we're going to be talking about scale. Sorry, my lower third disappeared there a few seconds ago, but I'm sure everyone knows who I am. For Scale, if you guys are not familiar, Scale is the Southern California Linux Expo, and it's about, I'd say, 2,600 people we had this year. I don't know if you guys think that's correct or not. But with the California LoCo, one of the things we've been doing with Scale is we've been setting up an event called Ubucon, as you're well aware of what Ubucon is. Though we've had several interesting speeches this year at Ubucon at Scale. There we have Liz. Liz had a talk called 5 Ways to Get Involved in the Ubuntu Community. It was a big hit, personally, I thought myself. And then another one we had talk featured by Marco Sheppy, and one of the Juju gurus, who also talked about something he's familiar with called Getting Answers to Your Questions with Ask Ubuntu. It's a very good talk, in my opinion. And then George Castro did one called Ubuntu Tips, Tricks for New and Old, discussing some of the common things you can do with your Ubuntu system that people might not be aware of. Then we moved on to other people such as Jono, giving a brief introduction to all of the aspects that went on, that are going on with Scale, with Ubuntu, the entire Ubuntu ecosystem overall, essentially everything from the phone to desktop to where we are currently with Ubuntu. Aside from Ubucon, we also had a booth, as you can see some of the props there at the table, which are very interesting. We had 2 phones that were given to us from Canonical for the booth that we used. There's a picture of the booth before we set up, which looks pretty nice. We had many volunteers, and if any of them are watching this, I'd like to thank you personally for helping out. It was a great success. Lots of CDs, tons of swag. We gave out lots of amounts of swag. Great for all the people walking around Southern California now with their Ubuntu lanyards. I know I'm always walking around with mine myself whenever I can, so that works out perfectly. Now, doesn't it? And that seems to cover up Scale, I think. There we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a picture
Anyone
of
else have anything to add about Scale?
Canonical's community manager. Well, we have a great booth. We had many people attending around. We had different computers with Ubuntu itself, Ubuntu with Unity, and Kubuntu, Subuntu, and Lubuntu. So if you have, if you're gonna have an event, make sure you also feature some flavors, because there will be people who may have some oldest PCs and they want to get them rebooted. So maybe Ubuntu or Subuntu will work for them. So yeah, if that's it for Scale, let's move on to the next topic on the list.
Yes, I will talk about CONLA. It's an event that started like 2 years ago between the teams of Uruguay and Argentina, and then more local teams from Latin America joined the organization of this event. Now we are like 7 teams, and this year in August will be the 3rd Ubucon in Colombia, in Cartagena de Indias, and the call for papers is open, so if you want to go to Colombia and talk in Spanish and give a talk, you can send your proposal. This was very helpful for us as we start joining other teams, not just the ones we are involved in our country. So we start knowing people from other places. So this was good for Latin America. So maybe in other continents could start the same idea and sharing with others.
Thank you, Pablo. So I want to talk a bit about Ubuntu Germany. Ubuntu Germany is a very active LoCo that holds a lot of activities, and they've been pretty busy lately. I want to call it two big things: one past and one coming up. So Ubuntu Germany participated in the Chemnitz Linux Tage, which took place on March 15th through 16th at the Technische Universität Chemnitz in Berlin. It's one of the biggest Linux events in Germany, and the biggest in Berlin. So Ubuntu Germany had Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Xubuntu, and Lubuntu demos all set up, as well as a demo of the daily build of Trusty. So one of the things they're doing, since Windows XP is ending support on April 10th, I think, and Ubuntu 14.04 comes out on April 17th, they were busy welcoming new Linux users and giving out Start Ubuntu flyers, which feature instructions on how to install both Ubuntu and Xubuntu. So they're definitely working really hard to get Windows XP refugees onto Linux. They also announced plans for Ubucon in Germany, and I think they're one of the first teams to put on an Ubucon, which is an all-day sort of Linux convention. So they're going to give Ubucon LA a run for their money, I think. So we'll have to see who can do the best event. Ubucon in Germany this year is going to be from October 17th to 19th in Katlenburg. They're celebrating Ubuntu's 10th birthday. Ubuntu 4.10 came out in October 2004. And so Ubucon Germany's motto this year is 10 Jahre Ubuntu, 10 Jahre Community, which is 10 years of Ubuntu, 10 years of community. So the call for papers is open. Just like last year, they're hosting LPI certification. That's really exciting. Scale does the same thing. So if you're looking at getting your LPI certification and you're in Germany, you can get it there. Usually there's a big cram day with a lot of other people. That's a lot of fun. And they also have something really, really interesting. They approached a company called Cat Service that is a hardware and tablet manufacturer. And so Cat Service agreed to sponsor to provide tablets to a team who can port and install Ubuntu to their Cat Phoenix PC Tablet 4 device, write comprehensive documentation of the process, and give a presentation at Ubucon to share their experience and results. So sounds like it's really interesting, and if anyone wants to join the group taking that challenge, they'll provide the hardware to help you along. So there's a lot kind of brewing. More information can be found at ubucon.de/2014. So that's definitely a show to look out for.
So next up, Phil.
So Phil, you're muted, but tell me a bit about Ubuntu Arizona.
Yeah. Let me unmute. I unmuted myself here, and we will be discussing the aspects of the Ubuntu Arizona team. Now, the Ubuntu Arizona team has been verified for over a year. If any of you guys are not familiar with the Ubuntu Arizona team, that's something that's been going on with them. Now, one interesting aspect that I've noticed about them recently after reading up with them is they're providing in Phoenix, the main biggest city in Arizona, three install fests per month for people to show up and get Ubuntu installed onto their computers, which is great because though, say, some people like us might necessarily be used to installing Ubuntu on our computers, not everybody is going to be able to set that up and do it on their own, which is always going to be useful for some people. Now, as you can see in some of the pictures, it's definitely something that's working quite well. Now, also we noticed that they have 2 unique Ubuntu hours going on in Tempe, I believe I pronounced it, and Surprise, Arizona, according to their wiki, which should be very useful for people in those areas wanting to get involved in the LoCo. And also we noticed that there is a email I noticed, which is toddc@azloco.com that you can email for more info on the LoCo, as well as you can go to azloco.com for info about the LoCo in case you're interested in finding more information that you can't find online. You can also go on to wiki.ubuntu.com/Arizona team for info as well, if you're a fan of wikis. And here we have some pictures down there.
Before we move on to the next topic, we want to give our condolences to the family of Larry of Day 75, who was an admin of the Ubuntu Arizona team. He passed away this morning, and on behalf of the Ubuntu community, we want to give our condolences to his family. Now, moving on with the show. The Ubuntu Peru team hosts the first Ubuntu App Dev School. We hosted it in January. And we basically got the support from a university, from a National University of Engineering. And within their premises, we hosted the first Ubuntu App Dev School which had a pretty good reception. We had 41 people attending, or 41 or 42 people attending, and we basically explained what was Ubuntu Touch. There you can see some people with Ubuntu DVDs on during the break. That is the booth we have, and that is the auditorium we hosted the event at. So we basically explained what Ubuntu Touch was and how can you develop applications for Ubuntu Touch in both QML and HTML5. So if you're interested in helping other people to get started with app development for the Touch platform, you can go ahead and host an app dev school. And we also had another app dev school in China. The Ubuntu China team was pretty responsive to the call we made in early January, and they hosted another app dev school. In no time, they reached to Joey Chan, who has worked on the RSS Reader Core app, and amongst other people, to give a talk at the NUDT University in Sansha. And the event was well attended, and they received around 100 Ubuntu enthusiasts who decided to get started with Ubuntu development. You can see some pictures of the event. They had a pretty huge banner, and within these premises, they gave this talk. They encouraged many people to start with app development. They did basically the same thing, explain what was the Touch platform about, how can you develop applications, and how can you submit them to the Click Store for them to be available for download pretty quickly. So if you want to host an app dev school, it's pretty good. As I mentioned, that was one of the first app dev schools, and apart from that, they have been super active and helpful with translations, and they have helped to translate developer.ubuntu.com, which is our main app developer page, and great progress has been made up to now. So that's basically it for the Ubuntu China and Ubuntu Peru team.
Well, and if you are interested in the Ubuntu SDK and Ubuntu phones and all that, there are two more reminders to give to LoCo team members. The first one is there is an app shutdown contest of Ubuntu applications, and that have several categories as the QML and HTML5 and ported or Chinese apps, and you can win some prizes as a Nexus 7 or a Meizu cell phone if you are participating in the Chinese apps. So you can find more info about this in developer.ubuntu.com/showdown. And the other reminder is in date March 25, 26, and 27 will be a core app hack day, and you can join and help developing the collabs for the Ubuntu phone and other stuff.
That's actually a really easy way to. It's a really easy way to get involved if you want to learn how to develop, but you're kind of afraid to try. You look at the developer.ubuntu.com website and you're not sure where to start. The Core App Hacks Days is where everyone focuses on these core apps that are launching with the phone. The weather app, calculator, terminal, gallery. There's a ton of them. And so they've the main developers have split up, identified a bunch of different things that need to be done. Some heavy stuff that requires heavy lifting for experienced developers, and some really easy stuff that isn't really hard to do, but it all adds up. And so they definitely have a lot of really easy tasks that that you can try out, and they'll help you with right there in IRC. So if you've been meaning to take a look at that and don't know where to start, the Core Apps Hack Day is the best time to start.
Yeah, and in the App Showdown, you can go ahead and develop an application in QML or HTML5, whatever you like. You can port an application, develop a new application. It's up to you. It's up to your creativity. And you can win a Nexus 7 2013 tablet if you're not in China. And if you're in China, you can win one of the new Meizu Ubuntu phones that are being produced right now. So if you want to win one of those phones and you're in China, you can just go ahead and develop a Chinese application and go win one of those phones. So what do we have next?
Well, so next we'd like to offer some advice for LoCo teams, and this we'd like to do in sort of a roundtable format. So anyone in IRC can join in the conversation. We're taking a look at that at the channel, and so one thing we'd like to do at the show is really showcase what LoCo teams are doing, which is really important. But in addition, we also want to encourage other LoCo teams, and say, well, what does make up a good team, and what kind of things can we be doing to help advocate for Ubuntu? We're all pushing for the same thing worldwide. So let's talk about what makes up a good team. If I start up a LoCo team, what makes it a successful team? What do you guys think? Don't everyone jump in at once.
Well, I think a good LoCo team is a team that is organized and that has started a roadmap to start like having events, getting members, because a LoCo team may start with 5 members, but as soon as they start growing and they don't even notice, they will have 100 members or 150. So you need to be pretty organized, and the team contact and the team leader need to be contactable. So if we have anything, if the LoCo council emails them, they need to respond to any emails we sent.
I agree. I think that's very important. The other thing I think that good LoCo teams can do is to help encourage people to host events, whether it's something as simple as an Ubuntu hour, or install fest, or a release party, or just a little mini get-together to show off Ubuntu, or giving talks at established events. There are a lot of different things that just the average person can do to help showcase Ubuntu. And while they're kind of easy to do once you've done them, they're really easy to do the second time. That first time can be kind of scary, and so a LoCo team is the perfect place to kind of pool together experience, so that people aren't starting off from scratch when they do this. And so a LoCo team can be a really good way to have the name badge designs, or a banner, or some presentations that are pre-made, to really help out people who want to get involved in advocacy. And so I think that the LoCo teams don't necessarily have to drive everything, but can be a good resource for people to come to when they want to start off. And so I think sharing that experience, that knowledge, is one of the best things that can make it a good LoCo team.
So what do you Phil and Pablo think could make a good LoCo team?
I think that the leaders should delegate to others so they don't get stressed, because being the leader of a team for too long will be so stressful, and you will be tired, and the team will depend on you in a way that after you leave or you step down, the team will fall. So having delegation and not one person deciding everything, I think it's a good idea for a long team being active and healthy.
I agree. I think a good active team can definitely, with a lot of active members, can definitely help prevent burnout, and that's so important. So I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't even think of that. Another thing that doesn't. So the nice thing about what makes up a good team is this isn't something that makes up a good team, but it's something that definitely every good team can achieve, which is verification. So verification. So the LoCo teams used to have a process called approval, and we had approved LoCo teams. And so if you did all the things a LoCo team should do, host meetings, have all the resources, a mailing list, have activity, and host events for 6 months, you could apply for approval. The new process is called verification, and it's more streamlined. We still want you to do all those things, but you don't have to start from scratch and do all these things before you can get verified. So it's a way for teams to get a little bit of resources to help them as they're starting out, and to recognize, teams who have a launchpad page, I don't know all the Jose knows all the details. Maybe he can talk more to those. But it's a good way to start it.
So you have to have a web page. You have to have your everything else set up and locked. You have to get your mailing list set up. If you have a local team page in Launchpad, you will have a page in lock.ubuntu.com. So you need to also have that page set up correctly with all the permissions and everything. So once you have that, and the team leader has signed, as well as the contact of the COC, you can go ahead and apply for verification. And if there's anything else you are missing or whatever you may need, the local council will be able to give you help with that. And in that sense, you don't need to worry about it. So just go ahead, apply for verification, and if there are any guidelines you are missing, we'll help you to get to that and solve it as soon as possible so you can get verified. That's your final goal. So I think that's it for verification. We really encourage as many teams as possible to apply, because we're close to the release and we want as many teams as possible to get their DVD pack for Trusty. So if you are not a verified team, go ahead and apply for verification.
And remind that only team contacts can ask for CD and DVDs. This is also important. Not everyone can do it.
Yeah, being a verified team is a requisite for DVD packs, and only the team contact can. So when you set up the team and you have a leader, you have a contact, they can be the same person. Pick a person because that's what's going to allow you to get those teams. You don't want 5 requests from the same team. You only get 1 pack, so get 1 person to do it. And so, and like I said, if you're starting out, go ahead and apply for verification. You can see the requirements on the Ubuntu wiki, and if you're not quite there, if you're just this close, or you have questions, reach out to the Ubuntu local council is there to help you, and just like the rest of the community, we all work together. So for teams, verified or not, we have a lot of different resources that can help you out. So the first one is LoCo.ubuntu.com. This used to be the LoCo community directory, but now it's the LoCo portal. It has all kinds of information and resources about what the teams are doing, and it's a really great way to also register the events that you're putting on, so that everyone around the world can see what you're doing. And that's really helpful. I also talked about how a good LoCo team has lots of materials, and so those are hard to just come up with from scratch. And so spreadubuntu.org is a fabulous resource with marketing materials, designed to help share Ubuntu. And so, for example, for Scale and for the Install Fest, I created these little Ubuntu name badges, and they're really simple. So it's really easy to take them and then add your LoCo logo or name to them when you're hosting your events. But once I got them where I was happy with them, I made sure to share them on spreadubuntu.org. Now that they're for everyone. Spreadubuntu.org also has some of the Start Ubuntu flyers that are really fantastic. That are helping people transition from say Windows XP users to switch to Ubuntu and Ubuntu. They explain what that is. They're available in so at Scale. We have the English flyers. At the Chemnitz Linux Tage, Ubuntu Germany had them in German. They're available in Spanish, Italian, French, I believe. And if they're not available in your language, you can take those and translate them and put them back up for everyone. So that's a really, really good place to start and to contribute as well to help everyone out globally. And we also have community.ubuntu.com. Who wants to talk about that?
Well, I think I can go for it. Community.ubuntu.com is the main page for everything about the Ubuntu community. So, well, if you want to join a team or you want to know what teams are available, what teams do we have in the community, you can go to community.ubuntu.com. All the information will be there. All the information about how to join a team, how to contribute to a team, what are the main steps for joining the community. If you're a developer, what can you help on? If you're not a developer, what can you help on? We have something for everyone. So if you want to help the community in general, or you want to help your LoCo team, if you want to host an Ubuntu Global Jam, if you want to host an app dev school, whatever, you will find resources in community.ubuntu.com. Or if they're not in community.ubuntu.com, you will be pointed where they are. So it's a pretty good page you can check.
Thank you, Jose. So, so there are all these great, opportunities coming up. Let's talk about organizing a release party. What makes a good release party?
I think that it's just the people who attend, and in general, just people. People are what makes a good release party. Just people having fun and having a great time together and enjoying that there's a new release of Ubuntu.
Yes, there are several ways to get a party. Like different locals do it in a different way. Some locals give talks and get together to explain the new release, and some others go to a pub and have a beer. You can do whatever you want, and that in that way you get together with other members of the LoCo and get new ones in. I think it's more a social meetup, so everyone gets together to celebrate.
I agree. I think my favorite release parties have been when we went to great Asian food place, and I was going to say Chinese, but it's actually kind of in California, these fusion restaurants that aren't really Chinese or American or Mexican American, that they kind of mix two things together. And just got a huge table, kept the waiters busy, and all just had a good time eating good food and chatting and getting to know one another, because when you're busy at an event, getting everything ready, you kind of miss out on some of that social time. I was at the booth at Scale both days, just like I have been at every time I've done Scale. I always get stuck at the booth. I never get to see anything else. So I always really miss all the social. So a release party can be a really good excuse to do that, with a lot less work for people than say install. So. Most important is to get the word out. Pick a good location that a lot of people can get to, and to get the word out. We have the LoCo directory, of course, on LoCo.ubuntu.com. You have your mailing lists. If anyone on your team is an Ubuntu member, you can post on planet.ubuntu.com. And if no one on your team is a member, find someone who is sympathetic that is a member, and they can maybe reblog the post as well. That's nothing wrong with that. So getting the word out, making sure a lot of people know about the party so they can come. And so people know that it's a social event. We've had people show up at our release parties who didn't know about Ubuntu but were curious, and so make sure that everyone knows it's okay to not run Ubuntu and still show. It's a friendly event. Now, slightly before the release on April 17th, we also have the Ubuntu Global Jam, and that's April 14th through 6th. So Ubuntu Global Jam is a wonderful time to organize events that are more technically minded. They can run from anything from install fest. We definitely need to test the installer for trusting. They can be bug triaging sessions. That's where Global Jam actually started. And finding and reporting and triaging bugs is actually really easy, but nobody does it, and it's really super important to get. If someone reports a bug, someone else needs to come in and verify, make sure there's a bug, add some more information. And so that's a good way to really help out getting things onto the in the sights of developers. So Ubuntu Global Jam is a great thing to do as well. And then another fun thing to do is Ubuntu hours. Now, I started these in California a few years back and ran for about 2 years. And basically, an Ubuntu hour is where you pick a coffee shop or a restaurant somewhere that's open and available that won't mind you being there for an hour. And you just go there on a regular schedule for about an hour, and people can show up and they can just talk about Ubuntu. They can ask questions about it. We had plenty of people who showed up just because they'd heard about Ubuntu and wanted to know more, and this was a good, easy, approachable way to talk to people. I always had my laptop with me and was showing off Ubuntu. I did a couple installs, but an hour's not a lot of time. We gave away a lot of disks. And so Ubuntu Hour is a really easy way to have an ongoing event. And I definitely recommend people try it. It's also another thing where I didn't always have a lot of new users coming up, but it was a really nice social, low-key event. So those are really easy, and I recommend that. And of course, so we have this new Ubuntu SDK and this new platform where we have phones and tablets. And the best thing is any app that runs on this phone will also run on my computer, unmodified. It won't be super because it's made for a phone, but it will run with no extra work. And with a tiny bit of extra work, it actually runs really well on the desktop. And so right now we're preparing a launch. We have 2 partners later this year. We have Meiju in China and BQ in Spain that will be launching phones that will be available for purchase on at ubuntu.com, online anywhere. And so the thing about phones is that I love my Ubuntu phone, but it doesn't have a lot of apps. Which it actually isn't true. It actually has like 200 or 300 apps. That's a lot of apps. But it needs more apps. And so one way that LoCo teams can help is by organizing app development schools. And so this is really easy. I think the wiki link is probably a little too long to read, but we can get that in the IRC channel. It's at wiki.ubuntu.com/LoCo running app dev school. You could probably Google that. And so the core Ubuntu developers from Canonical, the app developers, have really done a splendid job of getting things ready, thanks to John O'Bacon and the community team. David Planella has these fantastic presentations, just ready to download and go with speaker notes on the notes section of LibreOffice. And I actually ran through and I said, wow, I'm a Python developer, not a JavaScript developer, but now I think I can run with it. So I'm maybe going to subject one of the local user groups around here to that. But Jose, you took those, and I think you translated the slides, didn't you? What did you think?
Yeah, I went ahead and translated all the slides in learning now. So if you go to my people.com page, you'll find the translated slides in Spanish. Those are the same I used in my presentation in the app development school in Lima, here in Peru. So first of all, I want to thank David Cornell and Daniel Holbeck for all their efforts for making this app development schools as successful as possible. And yeah, we want you to run your own app development school. So it's pretty simple. You just choose a place, whether it can be a coffee shop or an auditorium. It can be anything. Just go. We have an online virtual machine set up with Ubuntu and the Ubuntu SDK. So go ahead, download that. You can run that on VirtualBox. And after that, just present these slides and start development. We have some resources in developer.ubuntu.com for writing HTML5 and QML apps. We have some sample applications, so you can go ahead, try those yourself, and after that you can go ahead and develop your own application with the Ubuntu SDK for Ubuntu Touch. So we really want to encourage you guys to start doing app development schools wherever you are in the world. It's super easy. It doesn't require too much effort, and we have a complete guide. The link will be in the description down below. So if you're watching this from YouTube, you will have that. Otherwise, the link will be in ubuntuonair.com.
Great, and yeah, the neat thing that they've really focused on is if you took a look in October with 13.10, and found it a little tricky, they've started posting guides which are just step-by-step how to set up your developer environment, which is really easy. The SDK is really easy to run. How to just start from scratch and then write an HTML5 application or HTML app. And so whether or not you're familiar with the process of developing, the documentation is getting really, really good, so anyone can do it. So if you're interested in running an app dev school, or if people in your LoCo are interested in that, yeah, get someone to go in there, take a run through. It's really easy. Slides are there, and there is a virtual box of clients image, so that you don't have to have everyone installing Ubuntu. If they're not running it, they can install VirtualBox, and you can pass around a USB key with the appliance and have them all run that. It's really easy. I just can't get any simpler. So that's going to be a really, really fun event, and if your LoCo puts one on, you can be one of the first to get to the forefront of this really cool new type of event. So check those out, because the slides and all the materials make it really easy. Yeah, thanks again for David Planella, Daniel Holbach. They were both one, I think they really outdid themselves.
Yeah, these two awesome guys are also hosting events here at ubuntuonair.com. They will be hosting 2 Q&As, so you can ask any of your questions, whether they are organizational or technical. And just come here at ubuntuonair.com on the 26th of March at 9 UTC, or the 27th of March at 18 UTC. David and Daniel will be here at ubuntuonair.com to help you answer any questions you have, to help you organize an event. There will be some app developers, some people from the Touch team. So if you wanna go ahead, those events are already on our calendar at ubuntuonair.com/calendar. You can come around and ask any questions you have. Feel free to join, and the IRC channel will be the same as always, #ubuntu-on-air on irc.freenode.net.
Okay. So this is the point in the show where we take questions from IRC, but I think everyone's shy for the first show.
Yeah, we don't have any questions up to now, but if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and type them on the IRC channel, or if you're just watching this video and it's not live anymore, go ahead and send us an email to onair@ubuntu.com, or leave your question at #ubuntu-on-air. Someone there should be able to answer your questions. So, do you have anything else on the list for now?
No, I think what I really hope for this first show is, we've featured some really, really cool projects that some LoCos are doing, and they're the really old, venerable, experienced teams. And it's important to remember that just because they're doing these awesome things doesn't mean you have to be intimidated They started off really small and built their way up. So hopefully some of these events that other LoCo teams are doing, we definitely want to give them praise for the hard work they're doing. I also hope that just calling these cool events out, the Ubucon, the release party, and so on, InstallFest, that they, the constant InstallFest that Arizona team does, I hope that gives other teams ideas for things they can do. And you don't have to be part of the LoCo team. Any Ubuntu enthusiasts, I mean, we're all part of the same community. You can go on and you can start your own event. And, there are a lot of people ready to help you if you're interested in doing that. So you should definitely contact your local community team. If you don't have one, get some friends together, put on some events, and talk about forming a local community team. They tend to be one per country. The U.S. is so large; it's kind of an exception. It's one per state, and it's really important to spread Ubuntu and share Ubuntu with others. That's the real power of. I keep hearing on Reddit, what Linux is really about, and they say it's about choice, freedom, and so on. What open source and free software is really about is sharing with others. So it's important to work together and do that. So all these events are a good way to do that. If you have any questions, you can definitely you can contact your local team. There are mailing lists, there are resources online. We all want you to succeed. And so the first step in succeeding is to start. If you need any help with that, you can. We love to answer questions. I've been working. I've been running events for about 6 or 7 years now. Jose's a rock star. Pablo's a rock star. There are lots of us here to help you succeed. So go ahead and email us at those email addresses you heard earlier that you see in the description on the YouTube video, or join #Ubuntu-on-air. I'm free to ask those questions. Get those questions in if you have any questions at all regarding absolutely any aspect of running an event or working on a LoCo team, or anything related. We're here to help, and we're not the only ones. So reach out and take advantage of the community that's out there that's been doing this for 10 years now. 9.5.
Yeah, if you have any questions, let's go to specific channels. If you have any questions about app development and applications and app development schools, go to #Ubuntu-app-devo on irc.freenode.net. And if you have any questions about your local team organizing an event or whatever is local related, just go to #Ubuntu-local teams. We will be able to help you there. If we're not there, there will be other people because I think we're not zombies and we need to get some sleep sometimes. So I think that's all for this month. I think that's all what we have in the list. As we have no questions in RC, I think it's time to wrap up this session. Thank you so much, Nathan, Pablo, and Phil for being here. And expect to have another of these sessions on the 4th Saturday of April. I'm going to have to schedule that on the calendar. It's going to be at ubuntuonair.com/calendar.
So, Jose, when's the next, I'm on the spot, when's the next show?
Sorry?
When's the next show?
So if you let me check my calendar.
The first Saturday, it should be April 26th.
Yeah, it's going to be on April 26th.
Yes.
So schedule that on your calendars, and we're going to see you there.
And send us news from your local teams to the show.
Yeah, we're receiving all kind of news. Send them to onair@ubuntu.com. It's just on air, no dashes, no spaces, no dots. I think you cannot use the spaces on email addresses. So, anyways, yeah, it's onair@ubuntu.com. Send us your news. We're gonna feature them on the show. Subscribe to us at youtube.com/UbuntuOnAir and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/UbuntuOnAir. We're posting updates constantly, and if you subscribe to us, you will get emails every time a session is done and the video is loaded. So, anything else from you guys?
No.
Yeah, if you do the hard work of putting on an event, we want to do the fun work of talking about it and giving you that credit. So get all into us, news, questions, and follow us on Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe, and I can't wait to see everyone here again on April 26th. Thank you, Jose and Pablo and Phil.
Yeah, thank you guys, and see you in around a month.
Bye. See you.